it's so obvious to me that other than him missing a lot of games, and that's why Kadarius Toney is discounted in your dynasty startup leagues, is he the obvious wide receiver one for Patrick Mahomes, who's already displayed electric upside, Theo Gremminger? Why the hell aren't we treating this guy like, in maybe just below some of those young elite guys? If his upside, Kadarius Toney, gets reached with Patrick Mahomes, we're talking about a top 5 wide receiver, top 10 wide receiver in dynasty fantasy football.
I don't want to have my heart broken by Kadarius Toney, Alan. Like, I think that we've done that before. I think if Kadarius Toney, I think that the price you're paying for him would probably be like a wide receiver 3 level price right now. I think you should be happy if he's returning you continual wide receiver 3 value. And with his athletic ability, he will have the spike weeks to kind of push that over the edge. I think that's an outcome that I think, is a reasonable one. If we're projecting Kadarius Toney to be some big time thing this year, I think everybody's going to get their hearts broken. Them drafting Rashee Rice is a guy, you talk about fantastic landing spots. Like Rashee Rice, I don't think is ever going to be a wide receiver 1 in this league, but I think that he's got a path to being a Tyler Boyd-like player attached to a great quarterback. I don't want to use the word gadget as like a negative thing, but Kadarius Toney is somewhat gadgety in the sense that you get manufactured touches for him. I don't want to get people's hopes up. I don't want to get the hype train going. I think if you have wide receiver 3 type production out of him with spike weeks, I think that would be a nice outcome. Cody, do you think there's anything more to Toney than that right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And you bring in Rashi, and I love Rashi, but Rashi by himself, he came in 15 pounds heavier than we thought he was to the Senior Bowl, and that was like a letdown because it was like 185 pounds. He kind of has this Garrett Wilson-esque feel to him. He came in 200, and he looked sloppy. He looked sluggish, and then he kind of grew throughout the entire process. And I think, you bring up the Tyler Boyds of the world. I think Adam Thielen's of the world. So it's like borderline 2-3 in an offense would be the ideal spot for a Rashee Rice.
Oh,
the question is, who in this offense is the number one, right? There's Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not a number one. He's a stretch by himself. He's going to be out there being his own thing. So right now you're looking at Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, I think, for who's going to be that one. And both of these guys have that dog, that nasty in them, where they have I wouldn't say that, okay, so when I say alpha's right, Jefferson, Chase, Evans, DK, right? They don't have that level alpha, but they do have the Garrett Wilson level alpha where they can come out and they can lead an offense in targets. And I don't see a world where, I do see a world where Kadarius Toney competes with Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney beats out Sky Moore for that number one role, right, in quotations, because obviously Kelsey is there and he's the mainstay. But when you look at Toney last year, I tweeted this out back in February. I said wide receiver 1, Kadarius Toney for the Kansas City Chiefs. 49.2% route win rate, which would have been 10th across the NFL, ahead of Jalen Waddle. 52.5% route win rate versus zone. That's ahead of CeeDee Lamb. 52.5% is hella good, but he didn't qualify because he didn't run enough routes last year. So if Kadarius Toney can stay healthy, and that's the number one thing, right? But at the value you're paying for Kadarius Toney right now, I don't see why you don't click that button. I'm going to be clicking it in 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026.
Like that video, be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out playerprofiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.